Welcome, everybody, to our second episode of Sports Drive. I am your host, Ian, along with my co-host, Tanner. Tanner, how are we doing this afternoon?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm a bit tired, but we'll get through this, and then I'll go take a nap. So,
Alrighty. All right, where do you want to start off today?
let's talk about Week 1 of the NFL.
Yeah. What's your initial reaction to Denver?
Man, I don't know what Vic Fangio was doing at the end of that game. Why he wasn't calling timeouts. Vrabel was just like, all right, well, I guess I'll just continue to run Derrick Henry and, not calling timeouts. Maybe he was thinking that Gostkowski would have missed another field goal at the end of the game. I don't know, but that Monday night game with Denver, man, it looked really ugly.
Yeah.
Phillip Lindsay's hurt now. Turf toe. They're not sure how long he'll be out. Courtland Sutton's out. They don't know how long he'll be out. The injury bug has just come to bite Denver, I guess.
Yeah. From what I understood down the stretch in the fourth, it sounds like Judy had a few really bad drops, and then there's that deep ball. From what I saw online, people are saying it looked like Hamilton kind of gave up on it towards the end.
Not surprised.
Yeah. What Vic Fangio was thinking at those timeouts, I have no idea. Like, I don't know if he was thinking maybe they carry over into the next game, and that's why he didn't use them, or what. But that was horrible. They could have had the ball back with 40, 45 seconds left, and that would have been enough time to run 5, maybe 6 plays and have a shot at the end zone.
Well, and you just extended your kicker. You have one of the best kickers in the NFL. You're kicking at altitude. Why not give BMAC a chance to, kick a field goal?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why Vic Fangio, didn't call those timeouts. Like I said, maybe he was thinking that Gostkowski would have missed another field goal. He did miss an extra point too. I don't know. The Monday night game with Denver was really ugly. I'm hoping Jerry Judy, bounces back and, can make those catches at the end of a game. But it really hurt not having Sutton out there.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt not having your best receiver out there. You got to hope the rookies can step up. Looked like Jerry Judy kind of did, but then he struggled towards the end with those drops. That man's footwork is incredible off the line of scrimmage.
Did you see Noah Fant's touchdown?
No, I didn't.
Noah Fant. So the ball was severely underthrown by Locke, and he dove in the end zone and had to reach back and grab the ball for a touchdown. It was a good catch, and that's another thing too is I don't know why they didn't involve Fant more in the offense in the second half.
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. That first Monday night game was okay. Steelers look good. They literally sold the house to stop Saquon Barkley, and they were just daring Danny Dimes to beat him, and he just couldn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this right now. I think Pittsburgh has the best defense in the NFL right now.
Yep.
I know it's hard to say that after one game, but man, they have done their work and they've made trades. They've drafted well. I really think that they have a great defense.
Yeah.
And they were talking the other day on the radio about, Ben Roethlisberger coming back and, just having to be a game manager and not have to win games by himself.
Yeah. That's perfect. That's all they really need from him. They don't need him to go out there and throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns every game.
Yeah, just go out and manage the game, let your defense do the work.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your Minnesota Vikings, shall we?
Oh my God. Well, let's see. Where do we start? Well, you know you're in for a long game when you call play action on your own 2-yard line when you know they're going to be bringing the house because you're on your own 2-yard line. Your offensive line has been struggling all game up to that point. Like that's just a terrible play call. And then the fact that our defense just could not get off the field. I think they had like 8 minutes of possession time in the first half, which is horrendous. And Mike Hughes and Holton Hill played probably the worst game for any cornerback I've ever seen. Um, Cameron Dantzler wasn't too great, but I mean, a lot of times he was in really good position, but Rodgers was just making those throws that really only him and Mahomes can make.
Aaron Rodgers doing Aaron Rodgers things, man. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
Yeah, just like we talked about the other day. I mean, I think the Vikings, will be a 500 team, but their secondary is super young, and there's a lot of experienced quarterbacks in the NFL, and they're gonna have that secondary is gonna get tore up. I have a feeling. So.
Yep, it's going to be trial by fire with these guys. I still think Dancer looked good. Didn't see much of Gladney out there, but I think next week they should definitely use him more. Doesn't hurt to see what they have with Gladney right away, too. I think he can't do much worse than what Holton Hill did on Sunday.
Holton Hill got burnt quite a bit.
He was really bad on Sunday.
I did pick up Lazard, though, on my fantasy football team, so.
It's probably a good idea at this point.
Well, he's the number 2 receiver behind Davante Adams. I mean, Davante Adams can't get every reception every game.
Yeah. How about the Sunday night game? Did you watch that one?
Sunday night game, that was
Dallas and LA, the Rams.
I watched as much of it as I could. LA looked good. They look like they're going to be back to their Super Bowl ways if they can stay healthy.
Yeah, that defense looked really good. Malcolm Brown, John Kelly looks like a good 1-2 punch at running back. Woods, Kupp, Higbee, Everett all look like solid targets still. Goff, I mean, he's still doing Goff things with McVay there.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they're gonna surprise. I think they can surprise people this year. I think they're gonna contend for the division. I think that's gonna be a really tight race between all 4 teams there.
Yeah, I 100% agree. How about that Saints Tampa game?
Tom Brady did not play good at all.
No, he looked pretty awful. Jasmine, get out of the picture. Go on.
He didn't play good until halfway through the third quarter, and then he became Tom Brady. He has been his whole career, and it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I don't. I kind of had a feeling going into the first week here. Games are going to be ugly. Especially with Tom Brady going to a new team, a new system. Being under Bruce Arians, he's been with Bill Belichick his whole career. So, I don't know if that had something to do with it or what, but
I think it's funny how after the game, Bruce Arians kind of called out Brady about his poor performance. And I just think that's funny because Brady's never been called out before. Belichick always shielded him from the media, whereas now Bruce Arians isn't going to baby him. Bruce Arians will sit and call him out if he plays bad like he did.
Yeah, and I really think that Tom Brady doesn't play well this year, I think they'll cut him at the end of the year if Tampa doesn't if Tampa doesn't make a legitimate shot to the playoffs. I think Tom Brady will be cut next year.
Yep, if they don't make the playoffs, he's not the quarterback next year. They'll find somebody else.
Maybe they'll bring back Crab Legs Winston.
I mean, he did have LASIK surgery, so if he's throwing 30 touchdowns without being able to see a linebacker, shit, we can only imagine what he can do now that he can see it.
Well, maybe he can steal crab legs easier now too.
How about the Cardinals 49ers game? Did you see that?
I did not see any of that.
That was a really good game. I think the Cardinals secondary is extremely underrated. Murphy Bunting, Patrick Peterson, Byron Murphy Jr. All three came up clutch at some point in the fourth quarter. Former golfer Devondre Campbell played extremely well on Kittle Sunday. Front seven, not the greatest, but I mean they still have Chandler Jones, Campbell, and I think they're going to be good still.
Yeah, you know, when you trade for a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, your offense should be explosive.
Oh yeah, having a guy like Kyler Murray who he's a pass first quarterback and he can sit and run it still. That's such a huge help.
Right, and like I said, when you having a guy like DeAndre Hopkins on one side, and then you have to turn around and cover a guy like Larry Fitzgerald on the other side. Larry Fitzgerald, maybe in his mid-30s, but the guy can still play football.
Yeah, and he down the stretch in the first half, he had a play where Hopkins was tackled and they're laying on top of him, and he sprinted over to Hopkins and took the ball from him and literally helped line him up so they could run another play before half. There aren't many guys in the game right now that have the kind of awareness to sit and do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Minnesota kid who went to Pittsburgh to play football. And, look at him now. Look, he's, like I said, he's in his late 30s playing football and getting paid to do something that he loves. And, I couldn't be more proud of the guy for the career that he's had.
Yeah, the Bengals-Chargers game. Joe Burrow's first game. Probably didn't go as planned. Really bad rookie mistake in the fourth, trying to throw that shovel pass to Mixon right at the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
He had his moments, though. He looked good. I don't know why they didn't use Mixon more. I think that was another reason for the loss. Chargers look good, both sides of the ball. Chris Harris is still top cornerback.
Yeah, and I think that was a big mistake for Denver not to give him the money that he was looking for.
Yeah, I think Denver's going to look back on that and kind of regret it. Their secondary isn't terrible, but having a guy like Harris Jr. back there helps a lot.
Well, and, now A.J. Bouyer's hurt with the shoulder, so they don't know how long he's going to be out.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll go sign Prince Amukamara or something.
Now let's get to the Bears and Lions. Man, that was hell of a game. Trubisky's touchdown throw to Anthony Miller in the end zone. Beautiful throw. I've never seen him make a throw like that so far. And while he's still that inaccurate quarterback he's always been, that was quite a throw.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I've heard a lot of the NFL analysts were talking about it, and they were saying that the reason why he's probably looking so good is because he's fighting for his job, because he knows who's sitting the wings right now. So
I mean, it can't really say much about Nick Foles if he lost the starting job to Trubisky, where Trubisky still barely throws to the left ever. He's still an inaccurate quarterback. Like Trubisky still has so much room to improve. If Nick Foles can't beat him out, obviously there's something wrong with Foles.
well, Nick Foles is a playoff quarterback. That's
Yep.
all there is to it. He's a guy that when your quarterback gets hurt, at the end of the season, you need, a little bit of magic. Call on Nick Foles. He's your guy.
Yeah, that game, hell of an ending. DeAndre Swift goes out wide open in the corner of the end zone, front corner, drops a touchdown. That would have won the game for them. Just Stafford's luck. He's got such terrible luck.
That's okay. I was playing a guy who had Matthew Stafford on his fantasy football team this week, so
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Philly, Washington. Philly's front seven, or not Philly's front seven, Washington's front seven, still looking like it's going to be absolute dominant. Secondary, okay. Philly's offensive line, they are not good. They were projected to be one of the tops in the league this year. They got absolutely destroyed by that front seven. Wentz sacked 7 or 8 times, 2 picks and a fumble. Not a good game for him in general, or the Eagles. Remains to be seen what they do.
I'm sorry, but if you're a Philadelphia fan, you should be ashamed of yourself. Losing to an NFL team that doesn't even have a name.
Yeah, I like what I almost said the Redskins. What the NFL, I like what the football team is doing now. How they're keeping the gold helmet or the red helmets, but they're putting the numbers on the helmets now instead of a logo. I think that's a look they should keep once they figure out what they're going to do with themselves.
Right, and I agree, but come on, Philly. You're losing to a team that doesn't even have a name right now.
Well, and they let Dwayne Haskins rush for like a 7-yard touchdown, and Haskins didn't even run a sub 540. Dude is slow.
Well, they're the only team to win in that division this week, so.
Yeah, and they were talking about after the game. They're saying that at halftime, Ron Rivera was getting fluids via IV in the locker room to keep him hydrated, being as he's coaching while also getting chemotherapy to deal with his cancer. Man's just a fighter. He's already been through so much shit in this short time with Washington, the name change, the 2 sexual abuse scandals that have come out against Dan Snyder, and then Darius Geis. Like, he's been through so much.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he had cancer, to be honest with you.
I don't remember what kind of cancer it is, but I believe they said it's only stage 2. So it's beatable.
Well, thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Let's hope he can beat it because he seems like a pretty good guy. So
Jets and Bills game. I didn't really see anything from that game. I don't have much to say. I know Le'Veon Bell's gonna be out for a while. The 300-year-old man Frank Gore will be taking over at running back.
Surprise, surprise that Le'Veon Bell is out. You give him all this money, the guy can't stay healthy.
I just can't believe that Frank Gore is still in the league. This guy's been around since like 200 BC.
Yeah, they're saying that he might be playing with his son.
Now that would be really cool to see. His son, freshman in college this year at Southern Miss, same place as Brett Favre.
We'll see what happens.
Seahawks and Falcons game. Russell Wilson, aka Mr. Unlimited, absolutely dominant again.
Man, that Seahawks team is disgusting, dude. Um, you add a guy like Jamal Adams on that defense, that team is disgusting.
Oh,
They're gonna be
they're gonna end up being really good this year. Their secondary is a little lacking, but they're still gonna be really good.
I agree.
Browns and Ravens. Baker Mayfield comes out looking flat. Uh, Lamar Jackson was Lamar Jackson. J.K. Dobbins, pretty good game in his first game with limited snaps. Hollywood Brown, really good. That Ravens defense showed up yet again.
I heard on the Power Trip Morning Show this morning that there is a rumor that Odell Beckham Jr. is looking for a trade because he's not getting along with Baker Mayfield.
I heard about that too. And I know there are Vikings fans out there who are saying, oh, let's trade for Odell. No, we don't need another wide receiver. What we need is a veteran cornerback or two and offensive line help. Because right now, both those phases, and defensive line help, all three of those parts of the team need help as much as they can get.
And to be honest with you, I don't think Zimmer wants to deal with that headache.
No, I don't think he wants to have to worry about a guy who likes getting shit on.
That was the joke this morning. Meat Sauce was like, it's probably because Baker doesn't want to shit on his chest.
Oh, I love those jokes.
That's so disgusting. Man. Poop is meant for the toilet, not for your chest.
Well, I'll tell that to Odell. Raiders and Panthers. Pretty good game. Close game. Bridgewater looked really good. Threw a TD late to Robbie Anderson I think they took the lead on that one, and then they ended up losing to Vegas. Josh Jacobs played extremely well, 3 total touchdowns, 139 total yards rushing and receiving. Just all around great game for him.
Josh Jacobs was an Alabama product, right?
Yep.
Not surprised. Josh Jacobs, I believe, was probably one of the steals in the draft last year.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's great. He's got a work ethic, man. The guy works hard. I know, isn't there a documentary series out about him?
I believe there is. I know he grew up. I know he had a tough time with his childhood growing up. A lot of issues.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good for it's good to see a story like that turn out for a guy like him. So
Colts, Jags. I don't know what the hell the Colts were doing, but Rivers totally blew that game for them in typical Philip Rivers fashion. Gardner Minshew looked really good. If the Jags end up getting the number 1 pick and they take a quarterback, they are really stupid. I don't believe Minshew is the problem there. He just needs to be surrounded with an offensive line and some talent offensively.
yeah, Minshew Mania is real, man. I went to Denver last year when they played Jacksonville, and he looks really good when he's got time in the pocket, to do what he needs to do. He's got a great skill set. He's a guy that I believe that the Jags should build around. Give
Yeah,
him
and
some more.
it's not like he doesn't have a lack of talent. It's just the talent around him right now isn't great. Like Chenault's still learning; he's young. DJ Chark's still really young. Keelan Cole, yeah, he's probably number 3 usually on most teams, but I don't know. I don't think that's enough talent for what they're doing in Jacksonville. Dolphins Patriots. Cam Newton was brilliant in that game. Looked like 2015 Cam again. Could be an MVP candidate this year, actually. Uh, Set the Patriots franchise record with 75 rushing yards by a QB in a game, and most carries by a quarterback in a game with 75. 2 rushing touchdowns. I think he had like 160 passing. He was just brilliant.
Well, to set a record for having 75 rushing yards as a quarterback with the New England Patriots doesn't surprise me. When the last 20 years your quarterback has been Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, kudos to him. I really hope he has a great season. I think Carolina gave up on him too soon. I think the best part of his career is just yet to come. So,
Yeah, I think they're going to be really good. I think they have a really good chance of being good this year. Their defense still looks good even without the 7 or 8 players that opt out defensively. There was a joke online that if their defense continues to succeed like this, at the end of the year, Belichick will probably just cut those 8 guys.
hey, he can cut those 8 guys, let him go someplace else. Denver could use some help on defense.
It's all good, the Vikings. Moving on to baseball. The Minnesota Twins lost yesterday 6-2. Center fielder Byron Buxton sped around the bases, hitting inside the park home run. Tim Anderson hit a home run yesterday for Chicago. Domnak didn't really look that great yesterday, which is surprising. He's been really good all year. Twins need to take these last 2 games.
Yeah, Odo's on the mound tonight. I believe the season series right now is tied with Chicago. So like you said, they need to win these next couple of games with the White Sox. Nelson Cruz has looked atrocious the last couple of games. I don't know what's going on with him. Miguel Sano's looking bad. And I don't know what's going on with their pitching staff right now, but a lot of these guys in that bullpen right now are struggling.
Yeah, and this is not the best time to be struggling when we're in a spot where literally right now you can't afford to lose a game with the division so close. They need to start capitalizing on these games. They start 3-game series with the Cubs in 4 days. Remains to be seen how that goes. Cubs, they've looked pretty good this year. Not
the Twins have to face
spectacular, but pretty good.
and the Twins have to face Yu Darvish on Sunday, and Yu Darvish has been lights out for the Cubs.
Yep, he's been absolutely phenomenal this year, just like Kenta Maeda has.
So, the Twins need to figure something out. Hopefully, they can get some of these pieces back that have been hurt. Hopefully Homer Bailey can come in. If we make it to the playoffs, he can be a part of that bullpen. Hopefully Odo can come in and, pitch the way he needs to pitch. Rich Hill's looked pretty all right his last couple of starts, but he needs to put something together and go a couple more innings and 5 innings in a game. So,
Yep.
but thank God we have Big Mike back.
Yeah.
That guy's been really good his last couple of starts. So,
The way it looks right now, Maeda 1, Pineda 2 for the playoffs. Probably Domnak 3 still. Uh, I don't know. I think
you don't
right
think
now,
Ri- you
as
don't
it
think
looks,
Rios, you don't think Rios will be the number one?
no, he's been horrible. Or well, I shouldn't say he's been horrible, but he's not consistent enough. And I think I give Maeda the start. Much more playoff experience as a starter and out of the bullpen. Same with Pineda.
Wasn't he on the championship team when wasn't he on a championship team with the Yankees?
Pineda, let me look.
I can't remember what year he came into the league, but I think he might have been on a championship team when he was like first in the league.
He wasn't. He played for the Mariners in 2011. He missed 2012 and 2013 due to shoulder injuries. 3 years with the Yankees, 2017. He needed Tommy John, which is why he missed 2018. Came to the Twins in 2019. Was out that year, and now he's back, and he's looked extremely good.
Well, let's hope we can keep him not suspended. So,
Dodgers beat the Padres 3-1. Fernando Tatis Jr. was 0 for 4, and Mookie Betts was 2 for 4. Kind of a weird game seeing Tatis Jr. 0 for 4. He's been really good.
yeah, I remember watching his dad play.
The Indians lost to the Cubs 6-5. For the Indians, Lindor was 3 for 4 with a home run and a double. For the Cubs, Javi Baez with a home run. He was 1 for 3. Ian Happ 2 for 3, and Anthony Rizzo was 3 for 4. Yankees beat the Blue Jays by a crazy 20-6. For the Blue Jays, Gurriel Jr. and Vlad Guerrero Jr. both hit a home run. For the Yankees, DJ LeMahieu, Clint Frazier, Aaron Hicks, Gary Sanchez all hit home runs, and Luke Voigt hit 2. Giovanni Urshela and Stanton are back for for New York. They're getting back to full strength, and should be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it's typical Yankee fashion. They have all these players that get hurt. Beginning mid season, and they continue to win these these meaningful ball games at the end of the year, and they get to the playoffs, and
Yeah.
now you have a guy like Garrett Cole in your rotation, and there should be no reason they can't make it to the World Series.
Yeah, I don't think honestly for them it's like losing players just doesn't even matter. I know they're still waiting on the return of Aaron Judge. I don't know how much longer he's going to be out. I think he's dealing with a hamstring and a calf injury.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've been hit by the injury bug. Well, I guess not as much as the Twins, with all the players that have missed time and extended time. Just been terrible for the Twins this year.
Is 2020 over yet?
Sadly, no. Last night in the NBA, In the early game, the Miami Heat beat the Boston Celtics 117-114 in overtime. Jason Tatum, game-tying dunk attempt blocked at the rim by Bam Adebayo. One of the best defensive plays I've seen in the playoffs. Probably the best, actually. Just an incredible play by him.
Yeah, I mean, you have a guy like Jimmy Butler who's come in and, put that mentality that he was trying to put into Minnesota, and Miami's bought into it.
Yeah, after that game, Jeff Teague tweeted that he said, what was it? He said, we had it, Minnie, and then somebody responded with a video of him dribbling up the court with the ball and Cat on the 3-point line wide open calling for the ball, and they don't show the full video, but on that play he dribbles into double coverage and shoots a stupid layup, and he responded saying that's why we couldn't win or something like that, something along those lines, but a little more subtle. I don't know why he's talking trash. He was absolute garbage in that playoff series against Houston. Well, he was absolute garbage in general. The Wolves were better with him off the floor than they were on the floor.
Well, did you see that the NBA finally put a day out there for the draft?
Yeah, November 16th is the set date.
Until Adam Silver moves it again.
I'm fully waiting for that. It's bound to happen. Or not November 16th, November 18th. Sorry.
Yeah.
In the late game yesterday, in a stunner, the Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Clippers 104-89. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were dog shit. They shot a combined 10 of 38 from the field. How do you expect to win? How can you win a game when your two best players can't even perform? And after the game, they were all making excuses except for Lou Williams. Lou Williams was pissed that they lost, which is understandable. Paul George said this wasn't a title or bust year for them, and Kawhi Leonard said that something along the lines of their chemistry wasn't good enough yet or something like that, or they need to get smarter, which is really stupid considering Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Patrick Beverley, I think they have Markeith. I don't know. Him, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Will, Jermichael Green hasn't. Reggie Jackson, Patrick Patterson, and Rodney McGruder all have playoff experience on that team, but they say they need to get smarter. Kawhi Leonard's been to the Western Conference Finals like every year with the Spurs. What does he mean they need to get smarter?
I don't know if it's getting smarter with them. I think it's more effort. They just got outplayed by Denver.
Yeah.
Denver has chemistry. They have guys that have been together on that team for years now. And Jamal Murray, what could he have been here in Minnesota? Dropping a 40 burger last night in the game. The guy's unbelievable, man. And Jokic, was it Nikola Jokic or whatever the guy's name?
Yes.
Jokic.
Triple-double last night. Absolutely dominant yet again.
The guy's unbelievable, man. I don't think the Lakers have an answer for that guy. I don't think Anthony Davis can keep up with him.
I think they'll be fine there. I think their issue is going to be stopping Torrey Craig, Michael Porter, Jamal Murray, and Gary Harris.
Playoffs, man.
I know. And after the game, it kind of came out that apparently a lot of the Nuggets players were asking for breaks during the fourth quarter because they couldn't play 3-minute stretches because they were so fatigued. Um, I mean, Denver's played back-to-back 7-game series where they had to win 3 in a row. They were probably pretty fatigued too.
Yeah. Um,
Denver became the only team to ever come back from a 3-1 deficit twice in the playoffs. Um, I don't know how they keep doing it, but it's crazy.
yeah, and I think LA might have the advantage in this series because, um, like you said, the Nuggets are tired.
Yeah, the Lakers have played 5 games both series, whereas the Nuggets are at 14. They've been relying on Jokic and Murray so much. If those guys aren't tired, I'd be surprised. I don't think they're as tired as the Clippers obviously were. I think they're more. I think they're going to be more well rested. And I think they're going to be. I think they're ready for LA and ready to try and make the finals.
Well, here's a question for you: do you think Anthony Davis stays with the Lakers next year, or do you think he signs someplace else?
I think he'll stay. I think he realizes that's his best chance to win anything, other than maybe if he were to go to like Denver, maybe Milwaukee, Toronto, one of those places. Heck, Boston or Miami too. I mean,
Maybe,
he's got a few choices, but I think LA is his best chance to win currently. Um,
maybe a sign and trade for Giannis.
I don't think they would do a sign and trade for Giannis. I think Milwaukee would try and trade picks and other players away um, to try and keep Giannis there and get him another superstar to make him happy.
Yeah, he's expressed frustration with the Bucks.
Yeah, I know he's going back. I know he's going on vacation. I'm assuming vacation for him is probably going back to visit his family in Greece. Um, I think I know they said once he gets back, they're going to talk some more about the season and what they can do in free agency and all that. And um, the Bucks owners have already said that they're willing to spend into the luxury tax to keep Giannis happy.
Well, yeah, we'll see what the NBA offseason brings.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna be able to keep Giannis happy. I think he had so much talent around him already, um, and so much veteran experience. I think this year is probably their best shot to win the East, and they couldn't even get past Miami. Uh, Granted, Miami is a really good team, but
Hey, Minnesota's got that first pick.
they do. Pair them with Towns and hell, I think they fucked up trading away Levine in that trade. I think that should have been Wiggins traded away, but I mean, it looks like it's going to work out. Gary Harris, Wancho, Nas Reed, James Johnson, Towns, and Russell and Beasley. I think those 7 right there are going to be really big for Minnesota. I'm hoping Culver can play a little better this year. Struggled last year, but I mean, he's not the greatest fit for what Minnesota is doing right now. He's better as a 1 or 2 scoring option, and right now he's probably 3 or 4.
Maybe what they need to do then is they need to put a package deal together and trade Culver, see what they can get.
I'd like to see them package Culver in the 2 picks, kind of test the water, see what they can get. Maybe they can land another superstar. It'd be cool to land Devin Booker. probably pipe dream, being as they came so close to the playoffs. Uh, Came down to literally the final game of the regular season. Um, I think right now their best chance would be to get Bradley Beal, which that'd be another great grab. Good shooter, really good defender.
Yeah. My only thing with Devin Booker is the guy doesn't really play defense.
You can that he can learn. I'd like to see them. I think they could really work on that with him. Who do they have? Pablo Prigioni and Vanderpool. I think those two could really help him defensively.
Yeah, but you also have two other guys who really don't play defense in Russell and Towns.
Russell's a learning defender. He's still young. He's picking it up defensively. Towns, he's got to add muscle. He is so soft.
Yeah, and he needs to get better at protecting the rim.
Yep. Right now he's just not strong enough. His defense needs a lot of work. There's a reason why he doesn't go to the post. It's because he gets bullied around down there against guys like Cousins, Draymond Green, Jokic.
Yeah.
Last game of the night, obviously we said the Heat beat Boston 117-114. Jason Tatum with another fabulous game, 30, 14, and 5. Hard to stop that guy.
Duke product, man. Krzyzewski knows what he's doing.
I think if Kemba Walker can get out of this slump he's in right now, Boston will win. Easy. I don't think it'll be 5 games, but I think it could be 6 minimum. But if everything stays true to how it is right now, this is going to be 7 games, hard-fought, chippy series.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Obviously for the Heat, Goran Dragic, Jamison Crowder, Adebayo, and Butler all played phenomenal. Tyler Hero hit a couple clutch threes in the fourth. Another young guy the Heat have, him and Kendrick Nunn. I think if they keep that team together, they're gonna stay contending.
I agree 100%.
Moving on to.
You got any college football news for us?
I actually got some scores from Saturday.
And what about the big news coming out of the Big Ten? What do you got for us?
Big Ten it was heard on a hot mic at one of the pressers that Nebraska is preparing to announce Big Ten football and Nebraska football. And then it came out that it was an overwhelming yes. And then today it came out that they truly are coming back, and it's going to be the weekend of the 23rd and 24th of October. And right now, of the Power 6 conferences, the Pac-12 was the only one not playing, and USC players are writing to the governor and other elected officials in California trying to play.
Well, I'm just happy that the Big Ten decided to let the kids play.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting for Ohio State losing Shaun Wade, one of the, if not the top corner in the draft, and then guard Wyatt Davis. I'd say he's probably the top guard in the draft. Should be interesting going up against the Big Ten, which usually has stout defenses.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, Tanner Morgan can lead this team to some big wins, and that's what we need.
Yeah, I'd like to see him repeat what he did last year. I think if he can repeat what he did last year, he is NFL bound. I think he'll establish himself as the third best quarterback behind Fields, and honestly, or not the third best, probably the fourth best, maybe the third best behind Lawrence, Fields, and you could probably flip flop him and Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance. I think a lot of guys are gonna be skeptical on him, being as he's only playing one game this year for NDSU. I know NDSU lost their top tackle Dylan Radins to the draft, projected first round pick. It should be interesting to see how Trey Lance does this year and how in that one game and how Tanner Morgan does in their I think 8-game schedule.
Yeah, the Big Ten football is back, baby. Let's go.
I hope they play. I hope they get to play Ohio State this year. I think last year would have been a lot more entertaining with Winfield and Chris Williamson back there, along with Carter Coughlin up front. I still think the Gophers defense is good. Still got big playmakers there. I think they could give Ohio State a good run.
Yeah. We talked about this, off air, and during our first episode, PJ Fleck. I don't know what he's got going on with these kids right now, but he's got these kids believing in the system. He's got these recruits. These 4. He's got I think 1 or 2 5-star recruits that are coming in, and
Yeah, he's got a couple 5-star, bunch of 4-star recruits.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know what he's selling these kids, but I think the Gopher football team is primed to be very good for a very long time.
I know there's a defensive tackle in Florida who remains unsigned. Minnesota's in his top 5. And then there's a receiver who, I think he's a receiver. He just decommitted from Georgia after deliberating with his family. The belief is Minnesota will try and go after him and add him for 2021. And I'd really like to see that. Add more and more talent.
Didn't they? Don't they have a 4 or 5-star recruit quarterback coming in 2021?
Yeah. Next year, him and his twin brother they're both out of Illinois. One's a quarterback and one plays receiver and I think defense.
Is he a 4-star?
Yep, they're both 4-star recruits. They were both highly recruited, actually.
Well, that's good. Minnesota is gonna need somebody to come in and play quarterback after Morgan leaves. So,
I think if Morgan leaves this year, I think they go back to Zach Annexstad, growth experience. Annexstad wasn't the greatest quarterback. I still think he was. I still think he was a good quarterback. Obviously, he wasn't anything spectacular. I'd like to see him get another chance after suffering that foot injury that cost him his starting job.
Yeah, I guess PJ Fleck can turn any quarterback into a superstar. So,
yeah, I mean, even with how how average Zach Annexstad played his first year as a freshman against Ohio State, I still think, he still almost won the game for them. If it wasn't for that lofted throw to the left sideline to, I think it was to Tyler Johnson, actually, they probably would have won that game. And, of course, it was picked off by Okudah. It was picked off by Okudah, which, not surprising, Okudah's one of the best cornerbacks Ohio State's ever had.
Yeah.
And college basketball news. Buffalo University Buffalo University's Malik Zachary is charged with assault and possession of weapons following an incident where he stabbed a Canisius College athlete. Um, Reason remains unknown. Why he's out there doing that remains to be seen. I think he's clearly not that smart.
I don't know. Yeah, it was probably just chalk it up to him not using his head.
Moving on to the NBA. The LA Clippers' Montrezl Harrell called out Paul George during a timeout in Game 2 of the Denver series, and it led to a heated argument between the two. They ended up having to be separated. The belief is Harrell was talking about how terrible Paul George has played in the playoffs. He's not been the Paul George that they expected. Playoff P, as he's called, has not shown up in the playoffs. He looks more like regular season P, if you ask me. The Clippers announced Doc Rivers will remain as a coach despite 7 years of never making the Western Conference Finals and blowing 2 3-1 leads. Let's see. Moving on. Oh, actually, the NBA draft we talked about set for November 18th. Should be hopefully stays, finger crossed. Doesn't keep changing. Mike D'Antoni will not return as the Rockets head coach. He informed the Rockets while they were on their way back from the bubble on the plane that he doesn't want to come back as the coach. He won't be pursuing an extension. Raptors gave Coach of the Year Nick Nurse a multi-year extension. Details still unknown. They're 111-43 in the regular season and 23-12 in the playoffs under Nick Nurse. And former guard Jeremy Lin has announced he's eyeing a comeback to the NBA. Many of you probably know him as during his time with the Knicks when he had that 2-week stretch where he was known for Linsanity.
I hope he gets another shot.
I do too. I really like Jeremy Lin. I think he could be a good veteran player off the bench. Could provide really good veteran leadership for a team off the bench if needed as a starter.
Mentor for young players is what he would be good for.
Yeah, I think he'd be really good for that. I think he'd probably be kind of like what Udonis Haslem currently is. He's still a player, but he's more so a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the NBA, or not that. Moving on to the NFL. Allen Robinson has become frustrated with the Bears and the contract talks. He removed everything Bears related from all his social media. Unfollowed. Apparently, he unfollowed a bunch of the Bears stuff. He's even gone as far as demanding a trade, actually.
Not surprised. I haven't really followed much of his career, but isn't he basically like one of the only receiver options that they have in Chicago?
Yeah, him and Anthony Miller are pretty much the only ones they have. I think they have 5 receivers and 6 or 7 tight ends on their roster. Why they still have that many tight ends, I have no idea. That means they really only cut 4 tight ends from camp.
It's like it's like Denver having as many tight ends as they have. Nobody knows why.
Yeah. I don't know why, but Allen Robinson thought when he left Jacksonville, going to play with Mitch Trubisky was a good idea. I think even the casual NFL fan could have told you you were an idiot to sign with Chicago and play with Mitch Trubisky. Uh, Not a good quarterback. The only thing he's good for is kissing titties. And for people who don't get the reference, draft night, one of his old tweets came out that said, it was one of his old tweets that said, "I love to kiss titties." And it became a huge thing on Barstool. Shirts were made about it. The shirts said, "Sundays are for kissing titties."
Yeah, they are.
The 49ers have placed Richard Sherman on the IR. He will be back week 4 at the absolute earliest. He's dealing with a calf strain. Him and Deebo Samuel are both on the IR. George Kittle's dealing with an injury. They're looking a little banged up. But that's the NFL. Teams get banged up. All about next man up. After the game, Cardinal safety Buda Baker posted pictures from his Instagram DMs where a fan was calling him the N-word, saying other nasty things to him. And the 49ers yesterday denounced what that fan said and that they are working hard to figure out who this fan is. And once they figure out who he is, he'll be banned from everything 49ers related.
That's just disgusting, dude. I don't care who you are. You don't deserve something like that.
And it's all because down the stretch, he hit, Jimmy G threw a ball a little high where Kittle had to jump up for it. And Buda Baker hit him right in the midsection. And you could tell Kittle was hurting after the play. I guess this guy thought it'd be a good idea to pretty much threaten Buda Baker. I think he said something about like wanting Buda Baker to get seriously hurt too, which as much as I hate some of these players, Tom Brady, I think I wouldn't wish somebody to get seriously hurt like that. I wouldn't go on Brady's Twitter or Instagram and say like, "Oh, I wish you would break your arm."
Yeah, and social media has gotten to be really disgusting over the years, and
Yeah,
these players don't need stuff like that. It's just all these fans that just think that it's okay to do stuff like that.
yeah. Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints, they've announced his ankle injury is a lot worse than they actually thought. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain. He's expected to miss some time. There's talk that the Saints could put him on the IR.
That'd be a big blow for them.
It really would. Losing your best receiver like that's never good, but I think some of those other guys can step up, including Emmanuel Sanders. They still have so many weapons that it's a big blow losing a guy who is practically unguardable like that, but they have other guys who step up and keep Breeze going.
Yeah, and I really like their signing of Manuel
Yeah,
Sanders. I think he was a very good pickup for the Saints.
he really was. I think he's going to do big things for the Saints while Thomas is out, if he's obviously out extended time.
I mean, he had good seasons in Denver. I mean, even his last partial season in Denver, he was having a great year. So, and you saw what he did with the Niners last year for the part of the season he was with the Niners. So,
Yeah.
I really believe the Saints will be fine.
Steven Gostowski, 1 of 5 on kicks on Monday. As of right now, let me double check. Yep, as of right now, he's still currently a Tennessee Titan. I would think they're going to bring in a kicker at some point to at least work out, in case this Gostowski bit doesn't work.
I'm so mad about that game, dude. How could you lose a game when the opposing kicker misses 3 field goals and an extra point? Are you kidding me?
I don't understand that either. I saw that the Bengals had brought in former Browns kicker who was actually just waived on Sunday. They play each other on Thursday, tomorrow. They brought in Austin Siebert, however you say it, just in case Fat Randy, a.k.a. Randy Bullock, can't go. He missed an absolute chip shot field goal. I can't say he Blair Walsh he didn't miss it wide left. He missed it wide right really badly and immediately clutched his left calf. And after the game, he said it was his right calf that hurt. People are suspecting that he was just faking an injury because of how badly he missed that kick, which if I missed a kick that badly, I'd probably fake an injury too.
You about done?
One last piece. 14 minutes ago, Ian Rappaport confirmed that for the first time since July, 2 NFL players have tested positive for COVID-19. Those players were immediately isolated. 5, team personnel members were also positive, but everything seems to be going as planned for the NFL. No word on who the players are. I doubt that'll leak, but overall, only 2 players out of the thousands they test is really good.
Yeah, and it kind of blows my mind to see, just aren't these players supposed to be wearing these watches?
They wear them on the sidelines. They can't. I don't think they can. I don't think they can wear them on the field. I know they wear them on the sidelines. And I know all the coaches and team personnel do. Actually, all the NFL coaches just got a warning that if they don't wear masks, I think it said they could be ejected from the game if they don't wear their masks on the sideline, which could end up being something to watch. I don't believe Mike Zimmer was wearing a mask on Sunday.
He was. Sean McVay was wearing his underneath the chin.
Yep. Should be interesting.
Nobody can pull off the shield better than Andy Reid, though.
That was good. He looked like he needed windshield wipers on that thing.
All right, everybody. One last thing. If anybody is in Northfield, Minnesota and is looking for a haircut, my friend Adam owns a barber shop. It's called Bridge Squares Barbers. This is one of his shirts. The guy does really good, fantastic work. He owns his own shop. Stop in and see him.